Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Diasporic Nigerian. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is our Nigerian Professionals in Canada series, where we talk to Nigerian professionals in Canada about all the work that they're doing. In today's episode, we're going to be meeting Tolu Arogunmati. Tolu, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing, Mary?
I'm great. How's Ottawa treating you these days?
I'm good. I actually left Ottawa, so now I'm in Toronto.
Oh, nice.
Right downtown.
Welcome. We like it. We like that. All right. Tolu came to Canada 12 years ago as an international student. After completing his undergrad and MBA, he found a fit in product management. Today, he runs the mobile division as a product manager at Sportsnet, Canada's biggest sports broadcaster. When Tolu is not working, his hobbies include enjoyment, chasing sunshine, storytelling, podcasting, sports, watching political satire, and anime. He's a huge advocate for self-development through mentorship, volunteering, and networking. Welcome again, Tolu.
I feel like this is one of those ones where you're doing like guest pastor in the church. You're just like you're just casually hearing all the accolades. Just like, you got to be humble about it, So I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So tell us about your trip from Ottawa to Toronto, because you've been in Ottawa for a good minute.
Yeah, I've been in Ottawa for like 10 years or maybe 11 now, ballpark. So I moved in the middle of COVID, so right in that end of April time. It was fine. I drove myself. I got a big U-Haul, put all my stuff in there, and just drove all the way down to Toronto. Like it was crazy, but it was fun. I like driving anyways. I like road trips, so it was an exciting time. So happy to be here.
All right. So since you like road trips, so what's the last place you traveled to before COVID started proper?
The last trip outside of Canada I had was Cancun. So I did that. That was a solo trip. So that was really fun. The last place I remember going to in Canada before everything shut down was Quebec City. I think that was the last major place I did. So
I feel like when you're in Ottawa, like Quebec is always very attractive. You're just like, it's
right there. Exactly. It's right there. So you just keep going back and forth. So that's what it was. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about your undergrad and your MBA journey and what decided for you to like venture into product management.
Sure. So I started out in engineering. Of course, when you're coming to this part of the world, they tell you obviously engineering is where you got to be. And so obviously my thing was I was going to do software engineering. So software engineering was a big thing on my mind. I struggled through undergrad, I'll be honest. Even though it was in software engineering, I was with a couple of people who were not in engineering, and I always wanted to have a different experience of other sides. I shall find a way to finish school. So thank God it finished. Then I started working at this company called ThinkRap. It was e-commerce. That's what they did. So they work with like Aldo. They'd work with Garage Dynamite, the clothing company. And so those were the kind of people we were working with in e-commerce. And I remember one day, one of my managers and my VP, one of the friends there was like, Tolu, come. Just pulled me aside, like, look, listen. We pay you to be a developer, which is good. Like you do your job, you're good. I'm not going to give you some advice, just free. Whatever you decide to do with it is up to you. As a developer, you will, again, you have a great career. Maybe you will even make some money. Hopefully, right? But if you want to have a great career, dev is not where you want to be. There are these other places. Go check them out. See what you think. I think it's a better fit. You have the charisma to do this thing. You are interested in some of these other areas that aren't core to your job. If you have the knowledge of software, which is great, you can pair it with some other aspects that you have. And I think if you leverage all those things together, maybe you have a great career at something else. And of course, product management, one of those things. Sales was another one. So they were like, look at some of those fields, see what you think. This dev thing, again, you can be good, but maybe at best you'll be average. Maybe. And again, don't get me wrong. If you're average as a software developer, you will make money. Like you won't be poor. You'll never be hungry. So it was up to me to think about stuff like that. And so I thought about it and I was like, okay, let me go check. Because last, they're still paying me. It's not as if they will not pay my salary. So I went and checked it out. And I was like, okay, let me go try out this product thing. It seemed like it was a cool thing. I then did the MBA. So that's why I went and did my MBA. They were like unhappy that I left because at the end of the day, they would have loved for me to transition within, but similarly, they didn't have the opportunity for training. It would have cost too much for me to do it while in school. So I was like, okay, let me go away, do the MBA thing and then find a job. And so I did the MBA thing. And then it turns out that product is just like a slapping field. Like there's a lot of money there. There's a lot of interest there. And if you are the type to want to meet people while being a dev, it turns out that it's a better fit. So IBM came calling. while I was even in the program. I wasn't even done yet. I finished 2 months early because they were like, oh yeah, are you ready for us or not? Like, and I was like, I can't wait, let's go. So I finished my program 2 months early. Some of my mates were still in school when I started working already. And so I was at IBM. 3 years later, obviously, Sportsnet comes by. Hey, we see you have a podcast, sports, da 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 da. You're really interested. You're about this thing. How do you feel about this job? I applied, and all the way from there, here we are today now in Sportsnet. So now I'm running the mobile apps. So it's trying to work, but that's the condensed version of what happened. And here we are.
Look at you! Congrats!
Thank you. So
I feel like you're really enjoying this because you talk about it a lot.
I do, especially if you follow me on Twitter, right? Every once in a while, I'm just like, me and my job, I love it, man. Like, it's a ton of work. I won't even deny it, but I love it. Like, imagine getting paid to do something you would do for free. That's kind of how it is. So I'm watching sports every day. We grew up on sports in Nigeria. Of course, you have to learn new ones like hockey, American football. But if you already had a passion for sports anyways, then it will just naturally go across. So that's where I love it. I love it, to be honest.
I love that for you. So what was your first day like?
Ooh, first day. So first day they did intros, right? So I met a couple of people on my team. I didn't meet them in person, so it was all online. It was the first time I was meeting a team completely online. They were really, really nice. My team is jokes, straight up jokes. They do things that like it's not HR problem, but like it's borderline like HR stuff. Like that's why I love my team. So my team will say stuff like, if Masai Ujiri does something, they'll be like, well, as the resident African on the team, what do you think?
Oh my God.
Right? And don't get me wrong, like again, it's not wrong, but at the same time, somehow. So I love my team for that because they're very upfront, very honest people, very lovable, adorable human beings. So that's kind of why I love my team. But my first day was kind of like that, just meeting everybody. Everybody just came out swinging. Why are you still in Ottawa? What's happening there? Things like those kind of jokes because a lot of people are in Toronto. So that was kind of my first day.
That's fair. That's nice. So I know that in this whole process, like it sounds like the way you summarize it, it sounds like everything was smooth. But probably had some times where you're just like, yo, what am I doing? How am I moving forward? And all of that. So if you reflect on your journey so far, like what advice will you give people who are trying to get into product management, and trying to be working in places like Sportsnet, because that's really big?
Yeah, no, there are moments where you will feel like, what the hell am I doing? And is this really worth it? Like one of the memories I think about even when I was in undergrad was like, me and my friends, we used to have this $1 McDonald's cup that we'd always keep because we couldn't afford to buy more drinks. So we just keep that $1 cup so we could always reuse it. So it is difficult. When you get to trying to transition into a different field, I think the key thing is to ask for help. Reach out to people who are already in the field. There's this thing that I've recently discovered, which is like proximity is almost like a bigger indicator of where you end up than maybe anything you know. So if you start reaching out to people in a field, soon enough, you will become like those people in that field. It's the same thing as if you hang around the same friends, you become like that. If you hang around people who are, go-getters, you end up become like that. So if you want to become in product management, reach out to product managers, ask them what they're doing, try to do some of the things they're doing, try to go to some of their conferences. And I think that's the key thing. I think the other side to it is find a warm connection that you can start off with. So even if I know someone who went to the same school, that's as warm as it gets. I know a friend of a friend who's in the field, reach out to them. I know someone who's also Nigerian who's in the field, reach out to them. And it doesn't have to be just that field. It can be in that industry. So unfortunately, quickly just before I move on, there was one girl who was reaching out to me because she wanted to be in sports broadcasting. And then we had an opportunity that came up and I remembered her. And then I tried to find her again on Instagram and she had deleted her Instagram. And I was like, it was very painful because like, this is the time I need to find you. Where are you? And I couldn't find her again. But again, the point is reach out to people like that, always just put yourself forward because when the opportunity comes, you will pop up in mind.
Yeah.
So don't wait until the opportunity is there. Just out of nowhere, it's like, hey, I'm interested in this thing. What do you think? You are there. Quick questions here and there. So that's my advice. Reach out to people that are there. Everybody's trying to figure it out there. Nobody knows it from scratch. So reach out.
And I think this advice is also something that works for professionals in every other field. Even if you're a student and you're watching this and you're wondering, what your next step should be, I feel like Tolu perfectly laid out what exactly you should do next. So I'm here for that.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about your podcast. I just realized that, you are a podcaster as well. So when did that start? How has that been going?
Yeah. So I started the podcast August of last year. So in the middle of the pandemic. I'd done a couple of radio jobs in Nigeria. I'd also done like a radio internship at Carlton for a little bit. And I always felt like I had the training to do podcasting or the radio thing. And I knew how to at least use a microphone in general. So I felt like, okay, I watch a bunch of random things. I've discovered a bunch of random things throughout Canada, my time here, 12 years. I can tell some people some things that maybe they don't know, real estate or some other things that you're curious to. What is it like to go through school 2 times? Because I've done the undergrad thing, the master's thing, especially if you've struggled. What is it like? Because even doing an MBA when you don't have the grades is something to hear about. So I always felt, okay, one day I will give my opinion on anything I feel like. And then one day I thought about it, I'm like, when is that one day ever going to come? So I just decided, you know what, I can get the equipment. Let me go get it, get a microphone ready, set that up. I already had the headphones anyways. So just plugged myself in, started recording it one day and started going. Didn't have a good name for it. So I was just like, I thought about so many things, name of noisemakers. I thought about a bunch of things and I was like, at the end of the day, I'm really just a random black person in Canada. And I was like, you know what? Seems like it'll work. Let's go work with that. It's long, but we'll go with it for now. So I started it, and we are now episode 43 being recorded and released today. So that's literally how it's gone. Just started going and sharing a lot of things I think about, stories, examples, things like that. So it's been fun so far. Just me, my thoughts, and then I have a second one that I'm working on for soccer, for FPL, so people who play fantasy specifically. And there's a third one I'm thinking about, which is, and maybe I'll discuss it another time, but I'm thinking about one that's going to be either dating, because I'm a single guy now, and what that's been like, because I always hear from women how guys are trash, and I'm just like, if only you knew what women are doing on the other side. So I've thought about that one, but I've always held on to it because I'm like, I don't know if I want to start a shit story. Maybe if I get a girlfriend first. Let me not ruin.
Don't ruin your chances.
Let me finish first. Then I'll tell you people what has really happened on the other side.
Oh my god, that is so interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of the podcast thing. It's fun. I've always just felt like, just share and have some fun while you're sharing at it, and that's kind of the podcast thing for me.
I would definitely say though that random black person in Canada is a catchy name. It's very catchy. I know it's long, I always have that issue with like long names, but I'm just like, but it's catchy though. I'm here for it. So with your whole journey, I know that you've documented parts of your immigration journey. I think a part of you would have thought that you would want to become, like an immigration advisor or consultant or something. So why are you thinking about that, or like why are you not there right now?
So one of the things as to why I didn't pursue that instead of being a consultant or anything of that nature, I think about the best use of my one time, and two, what I want to do things for money. I want to give advice in general for free for the most part. And I think immigration is such a dicey thing that if you don't have someone that is dedicated to it for you, it is very difficult to then charge money for it. In terms of the things I want to get paid for, I really like getting paid for my software work, at least right now. Maybe later down the line when I don't need money anymore, then I'd probably turn around and do it. And then right now too, with immigration, I think it changes so regularly that you have to stay on top of that information. I like the fact that whenever the information changes, it comes to me organically, as opposed to me having to look for it over and over and over. And so that's why I haven't done that yet in terms of being an immigration consultant in any way, shape, or form. But I do give people advice as it regards to going into an MBA program, settling in Canada, buying a home. I've bought homes now 3 times. So I'm working on number 4 already. I give people advice on, setting up stocks, bonds, RSP, TFSAs. So it's a wider range of things that I know than just immigration specifically. And so I've not almost focused on that because of those things. There's a bunch I know already. I think most of what I do now is just about setting up your life in Canada, enjoying it for the most part, as opposed to strictly the immigration part. I think it's very, very complex. I need that focus, and I don't have that focus on immigration right now. So that's kind of why I haven't done it.
That's fair. That's fair. So I don't know if y'all heard when Tolu was talking about, enjoying yourself when you get settled. This is Mr. of Enjoyment. So he knows how to get you, all your money together. He knows how to get you a home. He also knows how to get you to enjoy yourself. So Tolu is really the plug out here. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, enjoyment is actually a hobby. Like you have to have a lifestyle for it. You have to make sure that you're financially able to support it, because what you don't want is to start enjoying and then you have to stop because money is low. So you have to ensure that you are financially stable to maintain your level of enjoyment and keep increasing it as your money comes up. So
yeah. So what is the one thing, or what are a few things that you've learned about yourself for the 12 years that you've grown in Canada?
First of all, I think I realized that for a long time, and I think this is a Nigerian thing, but like I used to accommodate suffering. I really did. And I had to like consciously start removing it from my life. Mm-hmm. And I think that idea that like suffering is noble or that you need to work extremely hard to reach any result isn't actually the case, especially when you come to places like Canada. You need to find your best use of your talent and maximize your talent. That was one of the key things I learned about Canada. And I think it turned my life around, where it's like, you don't have to be the smartest person. You don't have to do engineering. Like, if you want to have a good quality of life, figure out where you are best tolerated or best celebrated, in fact, and where people treat you best. For me, technology was one of those places. There was absolutely no reason for me to believe I would make the best engineer. No reason. There's absolutely no reason for me to believe I'm going to make the best doctor, because it's going to be a lot of work. Now, again, kudos to everybody that wants to be a doctor. Well done to you. But again, if that's not the best use of a talent, go where you are treated best. That gives you the best opportunity to be you, and go from there. And that was one of the key things that changed my life. So that's my primary thing I speak to people about. Remove suffering from your mindset in terms of you must work like 8 hours, 20 hours a day, or like you shouldn't take time to rest, and you shouldn't take time for self-care, for mental health, for, if you need to get therapy, get it. If you need to, take a spa day, take it. That thing, I used to worry that, if I don't show up at work 7 days a week, they will fire me. And then realized it turns out that even when they fire you, they'll find somebody else. So why are you killing yourself? So that I think is the key thing. Learn to take care of yourself, find your best use. And that way the world will actually, turns out, will meet you where you are. You don't have to kill yourself to be whomever. And that will change your life, especially in Canada. You don't have to kill yourself, really. So
you're out here preaching the gospel. I'm here for it. Yeah.
I mean, again, these are things I've learned for free, so I try to share it as well. Yeah, just live your best life. Find it, whatever best life means to you. Find it and live it unapologetically. It will go much farther. There's something about someone who is passionate about their own life. You just want to be around them. You want to hear from them. You want to be around them. If you meet someone who is just like doing things just because, or because they have to pay bills, it shows on your face. As much as you say it's not written on my face, it actually shows. You'll just be frowning all the time. Nobody wants to be around you. And when you're passionate about what you do, even if it's just the excited about some ridiculousness in your life, I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference, even in the way you approach it. That's just my 2 cents. So.
True. So I know you've talked about starting some other podcasts, but in general, what's the next plan for you? How long do you think you're going to be, in product management? You got other places you want to go?
Yeah. So I've thought right now about a lot of mentorship stuff. So mentorship is one of the key ones I want to do, where I actually have people who reach out to me and we book time regularly just to stay abreast of what they are doing, many ideas they have. I want to share a lot. I think for me, because I've been here a really long time and I've gotten to a place that people would wish they had gotten to sooner, it's easier for me to give advice and to even just like check up and give support. I wish I had more support in general when I was going through a lot of things. I would have gotten here even much faster. And keep in mind, I've gotten to a really far place already. Yeah. So mentorship is a key one. There's a startup I'm doing with a few of my friends that's around cryptocurrency as well, which is just about explaining the space. I think it's a big thing that's coming. And I think if there was a way for people to learn about it, I'm not talking about trading. Trading is one side. It's like, I don't want people to get into Forex, because if you're doing Forex, that's one thing. I'm talking about understanding what it actually means, what each currency could potentially do, analysis and auditing, things like that. And then the final piece is obviously I want to retire early. I'm one of those fire people. My goal is 2.5M and I'm done. I would just be at that point baby boying for the rest of my life. So that is my goal. I'm not greedy. I don't need 2.5. And with the rate I'm investing, I should be able to get there around maybe 45, somewhere in that ballpark. So I'll be done. And at that point, I'll just be giving advice on Twitter for free and doing this thing, podcasting and traveling and baby boying. So those are the ideas and steps I'm going in. So
yeah. I love it. I feel like you have your life figured out. That's beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, it's not all figured, but I have a direction I kind of want to go in. So yeah.
All right. So I know when we were talking just now, you talked a little bit about, taking time off, talking about self-development, self-care. What does that look like for you?
Wow. Okay. So maybe I should itemize some of the things I do. In terms of my mental health, I walk every day. I try to walk every day for at least 30 minutes. Just clear music. And I take pictures randomly wherever I am. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see them every once in a while. Sometimes I'll take the picture, sometimes I won't post it, sometimes I will. I have a therapist that I see at least once a month, every month. I've been doing that now for about 3 years. Just so I can, de-stress, remove any thoughts that I feel like I'm feeling this way. Why do I feel this way? Thinking about emotions. I think about parenthood a lot. And what would it be like if I was a parent? What would I change differently? I think about what would I be like as a different person, or if I was in a different scenario. Sometimes I also play back, those moments when you have in the shower, you're arguing with somebody and you're like, I should have said this, damn it. I have those opportunities with my therapist where we walk it back and they're like, why do you think about it this way now? What do you feel differently? And so those kind of things, I explore those emotions and I get rid of a lot of angst or anger or things that I've, suppressed. So that's on that side. Then skincare, I do like morning routine, evening routine. I try to separately also do like a bubble bath, like maybe once every 2 months at least. It can be more depending on how stressful it is. Drink wine every once in a while with food pair. I love to cook. If you see my Instagram again, similarly, I'm always cooking. Always cooking. I think I love the cooking more than the eating. So I try to invite people to my house to eat with me because it's just food, just wasting. Like, please come on, eat, please. By the way, get vaccinated so that I can invite you. Yeah, so things like that. And then, of course, reading. I read a lot. I'm usually watching documentaries. Those kind of things also get you outside of your mind, outside of what you know. And then, obviously, travel. Travel is the key thing. I'm waiting for pandemic to be over because I just got that blue passport right in the middle of pandemic. I was supposed to travel to Seattle. And I was like, let me launch this blue passport. And then pandemic happened. So I can't wait to launch it now. And yeah, so that's what I do in terms of, taking care of myself and, staying in top shape. And but I also work out every once in a while. I don't need abs like that. I just need to, not have that butt, and I think we'll be okay.
I can't.
Yeah. So.
All right. So where can we learn more about you?
In a couple of places. So you can follow me on Instagram, Aeromati. I try to use the same handle everywhere just for consistency. So Arogunmati on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, but I don't use my Snapchat, by the way. So if you add me there, I won't follow you. I'm so sorry. It's not personal. I just have it just to have it. I also have a website, Arogunmati.com, and you can see everything I do there. Try to post every month, updates on my life, things I'm doing financially. So right now I just finished off my emergency fund and now I'm building up my Grant Turn Up fund. Then I also have my podcast, of course, Random Black Person in Canada, FPL something. You can follow that whenever. I share a lot on that one. That one is every week. The FPL one is every day right now due to the Euros. So yeah, those are all the places you can discover me, but Instagram is the easiest place to find me. I'm usually there regularly. And yeah, that's me.
Well, if you are looking for a daily dose of food, pictures, enjoyment, Tolus Instagram page is definitely the place for you. Well, Tolu, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out to come talk to us. This was a really great interview. I learned a lot about you, and I'm sure people learned a lot about you too. So this is really great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me.